a 26th second-round pick to the Buffalo Bills. Moore will make about $23.5 million guaranteed, and as part of this deal, they will pick up $15.5 million in guarantees in 2028. He had 50 catches, over 600 yards last year, 6 touchdowns, some of the worst numbers, honestly, of his career, but he goes to Buffalo to play for Joe Brady, a guy he played with in Carolina. So let's look at it from the Bills' perspective. Did they get a number one receiver? Or did they get the best receiver on their team now?
No, they got a number one receiver.
He's a number one receiver.
Yeah, DJ Moore is like that. He's a hell of a player, and he's great when it comes to run after catch. He's great when it comes to explosive pass plays. You're talking about somebody that has 1,000 yards from scrimmage with 5 different quarterbacks. I can name them. Kyle Allen from the Carolina Panthers, Teddy Bridgewater, Carolina Panthers, Sam Darnold from the Carolina Panthers, Justin Fields, and Caleb Williams in Chicago. He's proven that he's going to be a productive player regardless of who his quarterback is, and now he's going to a situation where he's going to have the best quarterback that he's ever played with in his career in Josh Allen. So, yeah, they got a number one wide receiver. Now, you can't win every deal, and clearly the Buffalo Bills did not win this deal because they gave up a second-round pick in order to get DJ Moore when a lot of people thought it would be a mid-round compensation. But I do think it expresses the level of urgency that the franchise has to get over the finish line and finally get Josh Allen to a Super Bowl.
A former wide receiver agrees with you. Our buddy Harry Douglas, host Freddie and Harry, weekdays 3 p to 7 p Eastern here on ESPN Radio, said Josh Allen did get a number one in DJ Moore.
DJ Moore is a guy that can make contested catches. He can go over the middle. He can play in the slot. He can play outside. He can take a 2-yard, 5-yard, 7-yard, 15-yard pass into the end zone for a touchdown, and he can run just about every single route on the route tree. So Josh Allen's going to have his number one guy, and it's going to alleviate a lot of pressure off of Josh from doing things as an individual all by himself.
Is this the best receiver that Josh Allen has ever played with? Reminder, Steph Diggs was there in his prime.
No, I'm not going to disrespect Steph Diggs. Steph Diggs was awesome, but we know that there was a lot of tension in that working relationship with Steph Diggs. You're not going to have that drama with DJ Moore. And I think that's probably why the Buffalo Bills brass opted to go this direction rather than go after somebody like A.J. Brown, who is a more dominant physical presence at the position, but somebody that also is mercurial. You don't get that type of baggage with DJ Moore. He's had a lot of frustrating situations with some of the teams that he played on, and yet you didn't see the cracks in terms of his personality. So I like the ad for the Buffalo Bills. I think from a chemistry standpoint, he should fit right into that locker room. But the Buffalo Bills, by no means, are done when it comes to what they need to do, being aggressive to add to that roster this offseason so that they can become a Super Bowl contender.
So define aggressive. What do they need to do?
They got to add on the defensive side of the ball, man. They got to add. Like, they drafted Maxwell Harrison in the first round last year to address their secondary. They've got to add to their defensive front. They got some guys that are impending free agents, Joey Bosa, A.J. Epinesa. They got to add to the guys up front, and they need to take a big swing. Now, I don't know if they can find a way to get after a guy like Myles Garrett or a guy like Max Crosby. I mean, Trey Hendrickson makes a lot of sense there as a free agent, but they got to find a way to put more pressure on opposing quarterbacks. It can't just be Greg Rousseau and a bunch of guys. They got to find more help in the way of edge pass rush up front so that they're not reliant on manufacturing pressure by bringing blitzes.
We have said multiple times on our show that we believe that the Buffalo Bills at number 26 in the NFL draft should not take a rookie. That they should use that by way of trade.
1,000%.
We still believe that after they give up their second-round pick for what you just said is a number one wide receiver in DJ Moore.
Yeah, I don't care if they make a first or a second-round pick this year. Doesn't matter to me. Who cares?
So if we get to free agency,
the Rams went a decade without making a first-round pick.
Yeah, and already gave up another one.
Yeah,
I mean, they have one left.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, and they went to 2 Super Bowls during that stretch and won one of them.
Right.
They don't care about. Listen, it's collateral that you use, or it's a resource that you use in order to get what you need. And clearly the Bills are in their window right now to compete for a championship. They won a playoff game this year and fired their head coach. That shows you the level of urgency that the organization is operating with. Did they overpay with DJ Moore? Absolutely they did. But it's not a matter of winning the deal. It's a matter of winning the Super Bowl.
So I'm going to go through guys, and you tell me, yep, give up the first for that guy.
Let me break it down. I'm going to simplify it for you in terms of what the MO for the Buffalo Bills should be this offseason. It should be exactly what Kevin Clark said on our show earlier this week. Make sure that Josh Allen is less Superman and more Clark Kent. What does that mean? Being able to get players around him that can do the heavy lifting in terms of moving the offense forward. Also, what it means, making sure that you have a defense that can hold opposing offenses down and win you games. Again, Josh Allen can be Josh Allen. He's going to be special. He's the best athlete at the position that we have in the sport. But stop asking him to be special on every single snap, because eventually you're going to see some mistakes. You're going to see the turnover-worthy plays, like we saw in the divisional round in Denver, where he's pushing right before halftime and has a senseless turnover. Those are the things that you're trying to avoid. The only way you do that is by taking pressure off of him, by putting more pieces in place that can be force multipliers and difference makers.
All right, I want to give you a few names quickly here.
Go for it.
And I'm going to tell you, so basically what we're going to do, a little exercise. The Bills should use their first-round pick as part of a package to get this guy. You tell me yes or no. Max Crosby.
Yes.
Myles Garrett.
Yes.
A.J. Brown.
No.
Okay, so it's use that first-round pick, add to the defense. The first-round pick we thought they would use for A.J. Brown became a second-round pick for DJ Moore. Check, move on. Now use that first-round pick to get a guy on defense that we're all going to say, well, he'll be a first-team All-Pro. Like, blindly. First-team All-Pro, slot him in, get that guy.
Yes.
Got it. All right, well, you said the Bills lost the trade. That means someone has to have won the trade. We'll discuss who that was coming up after you have this from Granger.
I'm just going to put this out there. You look at the Buffalo Bills defense, you don't see anybody that's going to wreck the game for the opposing offense. That has to change.
That's what 26 is for.
As you know,
NFL draft analyst Field Yates also makes sense, and he is with us now. Sir, what needs do you feel that the Dolphins need to look after in this draft?
Yeah, good call right there by Melvin Jordan on offensive line. But I think the pass rush and also cornerbacks are areas of need for Miami this upcoming offseason. Last year at the trade deadline, they made a trade of Jalen Phillips to the Philadelphia Eagles, but that cornerback room was so thin this past season. Now, new GM John Eric Sullivan has talked about building his roster from the inside and out, and they'll do some of that as well. But at some point this offseason, they do have to address cornerback for their new head coach, who will likely also call their defensive plays in Jeff Hafley.
Okay, there's also the big quarterback question, because there's a good chance Tua is not going to be on the roster. Who do you think Miami should pursue this offseason to fill that spot?
So, Jay, I think there's a chance that Miami sort of says, let's be patient this upcoming offseason and not make a meaningful swing at quarterback, understanding that we probably are in for a rebuilding year in 2026. We could throw some names out there like Malik Willis, who, of course, has that connection to John Eric Sullivan and Jeff Hafley, having spent time together in Green Bay. But I don't know that Miami is really in a hurry to figure out this quarterback solution unless they have full conviction that that player can be a franchise-altering signal caller. I don't think any quarterback in free agency and any quarterback that could be available at number 11, like Alabama's Ty Simpson, is enough of a guarantee for Miami to push its chips into the middle of the table. We have a strong draft class in 2027, and Miami this offseason is about taking its medicine, getting the books back in order, and organically rebuilding this roster back up.
That makes sense. Told you. Field Yates with the insight. Thank you, brother.
Thank you.